Welcome fairy dwellers, and today's show's all about the fairy courts. So what is the fairy courts? Well, get yourself nice and cozy, get yourself something sweet and a blanket and a nice hot drink, and I'm going to tell you about the fairy courts. Let's begin. So, going back to 250 BC, before religion, way back to our ancestors, before even churches were born, even before people knew what religion was, everybody believed in the Fae. Everybody used to love the Fae and used to go to the forest and leave offerings and have kinship. And there was only one court. They weren't called fairy then, they were called nature spirits. That's their original name. And of course, as witches still call them nature spirits. But then, coming up to about 250 BC, no, I'm not taking you to the Burning Times because it was before. There was a grumpy old Pope Catholic type person, though I can't quite remember, but he was just very grumpy and very religious, and he got out of bed, and again, this was just when the church was beginning, and he decided no pagans or anybody who was resorting to fairies, or what they called nature spirits back then and still do, or anything of the kind that was against what he believed in, he said would have to leave the village. So the people stopped going to the fairy. They stopped leaving offerings by the river or by the tree or by the gate, the guardians of the forest. They started to drift. But this wasn't everybody, because not everybody would bow down. Oh, we get chucked out our village, bring it on, we'll just go and live with our family who lives in the next village over. Or there was those who were kind of a little bit like, oh, he won't find out, we'll just put our hood on. So I'd say it was about 25% of the population. But the Pope soon found out that some people were not obeying him. So he said, right, I tell you now, if they do not turn away from these nature spirits, these old gods, these elementos, I will get stricter, he said. Everybody who does will have a hefty fine. And a lot of people were poor. They couldn't afford, when it come to their bellies, their wages and their bellies, they're like, now, I don't like being hungry. We best, can't go to the forest this Sunday. We've got to stay in because the Pope, this Catholic person, whatever you want to call him, might see. So that brought down the population to about 50% that didn't go to the fairy. Now, by this time, the fairy were getting very grumpy indeed. And so was this religious guy. He wanted everybody, not half. How dare they obey the nature spirits? How dare they obey the old gods? They're to obey me and what I believe in, he said. So he stamped his foot and he said, right, every single person who doesn't will be taken by the sword. Shock, horror. Well, you can imagine the scutter. People were protecting their families, their babies everywhere. No one will be spared, he said. So literally everybody but one or two witches who went with their hoods, the special ones, didn't go to the fairy. They stopped leaving their offerings, they stopped doing spell work, they stopped asking for blessings, they stopped being kin and worshipping the dryads and the fairies of the lake. The guardians of the forest were left alone. So lonely they didn't see any humans for a long time. People wouldn't dare go into the forest except the special ones over their hoods, over their faces, hoping not to be seen as they stayed committed to the elementos, the fairies, and the old ways. They are the fairy witches of today, I tell you. So the Fae heard of this and they said something needs to be done. Well, what can we do? Now, some of the Fae were saying, let's cast the humans. They've let us down. We've looked after them for centuries, years, billions of years, and they've let us down. They've turned their back on us and kin. And then there was some other Fae. No, you can't do that. That's mean. You know they don't mean it. You know that they're under pressure. You know that humans are a bit odd. They don't think like us. We've got to teach them. So there was a bit of a scutter and there was a bit of an argument. And then two very wise fairies indeed stood up. It was at the same time though, mind you. Not sure which one did first, which one did after. But hey-ho. The fast one said, we need to have 2 courts. We can't have just one court. None of us agreeing. Everything is going riot here. The trees are shriveling, and nature needs order for it to grow. And the other court member stood up and said, well, he wasn't a court member then, he was just about to be topsy-turvy. Okay, let's get back right. The other member of the clan stood up and said, I agree, there should be 2 courts. There should be one over there and one over there, and you can carry on worshipping your silly little mortals. And us over here, we will just curse them. No, said the fairy over there, the elemental, the nature spirit. And it went on. Sorry for the disturbance there. So we get back to it. And like I said, it went on, and the fairy over there said, I'll do a deal with you. What said the fairy over there on the other side? What deal? You don't curse the mortals. Curse the mortals. Don't die now. And we'll get on with it. And with one thing I ask of you. What do you ask of us? She said, what on earth do you ask of us? That humans do not talk to us. They do not say hello. They do not say goodbye. They do not even sense us. They don't even flip their hand to say, hurrah, we seen you, fairy, whatever. They do not even look at us, let alone mention us. I'm not sure about mentioning you. That might get written in the history book, she said. But yeah, okay. We will tell the mortals not to say hello to you, not to say goodbye, not to even see you. And if they do, scutter on and pretend you're not there, pretend you're even invisible. Well, we will certainly try to be invisible to them because we don't like them. They let us down, they're mean. I get your meaning, said the fairy queen. You see where this is going. Because she was about to become the fairy queen. And she became the fairy queen of the Seelie Court. The court that said we must teach humans wisdom, we must love them and care for them. For they do not know the ways of nature. They do not know balance. And the fairy king on the other side. Well, I'll leave that to you. Got a bit of a job there, ain't you, fairy? And that was the Unseelie. So we now have the Seelie and the Unseelie, the 2 fairy courts, and that's how they were created in myth. And as witches, we still go about our ways with the Seelie and the Unseelie, but we don't talk about the Unseelie. We pretend we didn't see them, we don't mention them, and if we have to talk about them, we whisper, and hopefully they don't hear us. So don't mess with the Unseelie. It's not that they're wicked, they are hurt, and they don't want anything to do with us. In fact, they signed a contract to say it so. So don't be silly thinking that you can change their mind, because that'd be a very stupid thing to do. Absolutely very stupid thing to do. Because they know their own mind, and it's not up for debate. So the best you can do is let them go, because they're dark. They're very dark, and they will hurt you. But the Seelie are light, and the Seelie will help you. In fact, the Seelie will bless you on your way. So let's light a candle together. And I send my blessings on the way to you. From Fairy Witch, me, Witch Guinivere, and my spirit guide Rose. I hope you've enjoyed today's Fairy Court tutorial. Let me know in the comments what you think. And any questions, I'd love to answer you. Catch you soon.